Haunted dolls are not a new concept to, I guess, most of us. And we all know about Annabelle and Robert the doll, but those are not the only haunted dolls that exist. Hey guys, I'm Brittany, and thank you for tuning in. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button for me, and we'll dive right in. The first doll that we have is named Okiku. Might be pronouncing that wrong. As the story goes, Okiku was purchased by a young man sometime around 1918, Japan. And this man had purchased Okiku as a gift for his younger sister. A year later, the little girl would unfortunately pass away from a severe case of the flu. The family would create a shrine in her memory. They would place this doll, which was rather large, on the shrine. A little bit later, after they, put this doll out, they would notice that the doll's hair, which had originally been cut short into like a bob, had grown past its shoulders. And when the family had moved in 1938, they had actually entrusted the care of this doll to the Menagerie Temple in Hokkaido, where the caretakers still maintain Okiku's ever-growing hair. I mean, if you think about it, that's not possible, right? It's not possible for a hair, or his hair is made up of dead cells. It was once living. And so it's not possible for a doll to create cells for them to die and become hair. It's just not. So how? Like, what explanation is there other than it possibly being this little girl's spirit for her hair to grow? Next, we have Lily. Lily currently resides at Zach Bagans Museum and was made in sometime in the 1800s in Germany. And she has real human hair, which was not uncommon for dolls to have real human hair. It's said that she was discovered by an antique dealer who had took her home and then began having reoccurring nightmares about a little girl who had this horrible accident. After that, she was sold in an antique shop. On one occasion, a little girl came into the shop and she spoke to Lily for 3 hours. And she was interacting with her like she was a child. He had informed the worker that Lily was a little girl. Next, we have Ruby. Ruby is a porcelain doll, and she is also at the museum. Her previous owners had said that she had originally belonged to a little girl in their family, and the little girl had died while holding the doll. Due to that, the doll had been passed down from generation to generation. And when visitors meet Ruby, they experience this overwhelming feeling of sadness. Next, we have Elmo.
It's time to play a guessing game. Oh, hello, Cookie. Hi, Cookie.
Oh, hi,
Everybody knows who Elmo is, right? I loved Elmo. But specifically, the Elmo doll, the talking Elmo, was one of the most sought-after dolls, sought-after toys ever. It was a must-have holiday gift, especially in 1996. It's continued each year to be this, very high wanted gift. So the original Elmos had giggles and they were tickled. And as, they kept releasing them, they would acquire larger vocabularies. But then came the Elmo Knows Your Name doll. This doll was purchased by the Bowman family in 2008 for their 2-year-old son, James. So the Elmo Knows Your Name doll, it was programmed to speak the owner's name along with the pre-introduced dialogue. But when the Bowmans changed Elmo's batteries, he started making up new phrases, and in a sing-songy voice would say, "Kill James." I know that something similar would end up happening with the Furbies, and it's curious because you wonder if it was something paranormal, and obviously that's alarming, or if it was something getting jumbled. The words it was meant to say were getting jumbled. But considering this case wasn't like every case, like it wasn't every doll that this was happening to, it wasn't a bunch of dolls this was happening to, it's rather odd. Next we have Mandy. Mandy is in the Quesnel Museum in Canada, and staff have to keep her in her own display case because when she is displayed with other dolls, she knocks them over. Like, nope, I don't want you here. Bye. Their staff's lunches will also disappear. Visitors' cameras will often just not be able to take pictures of Mandy. She's a porcelain baby doll and probably manufactured in Europe around 1910. And the woman who had donated the doll to this museum said that she was getting rid of Mandy because she would cry at night. Yeah. Then we have the Haunted Gang. So this consists of 8 haunted dolls. Their names are Crystal, Monica, Charlotte, True, Isaac, Lily, Cameron, and Ashley. And the owners have a camera that's constantly recording them. And in 2009, one camera had appeared to have recorded a ghostly boy apparition at the bottom of the staircase. They have cameras on other places of their home too, not just on the dolls. But I'm curious if it is related to the dolls or if it's just a spirit passing through. It's interesting though. Then we have Charlie. Charlie was discovered in the attic of an old Victorian home in upstate New York in 1968. If I found a doll in an attic, it would not be staying here. Charlie was locked away. Locked. In a trunk with newspapers dating back to the 1930s and a yellow piece of paper that had the Lord's Prayer written on it. And you took him out. The family placed the figurine on display with other dolls and toys. Soon, Charlie would seem to move on its own, swapping places with the other toys. And not long after, the family's youngest daughter claimed that Charlie spoke to her in the middle of the night. The parents dismissed the claims. They kind of just were like, oh yeah, she just has an overactive imagination, which is what my parents always told me. But the little girl and her siblings were terrified of Charlie, not want to go near him. And it wasn't until mysterious scratches started turning up on their little girl's body that they decided to lock Charlie back away in the attic. Charlie now resides at the local Artisan in Beverly, Massachusetts. It's an oddity shop that is just minutes away from Salem, so a pretty fitting place for him. Next, we have the Island of Dolls, which, oh my, dolls just creep me out. I mean, I loved dolls growing up, but there's just something about dolls that are just eerie. And especially when they're old and weathered and they're kind of deformed. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have heard of the Island of Dolls. It is located in the Chamilco, I have no idea how to pronounce the word, but a canal system just south of Mexico City. Island is completely covered in broken and decaying dolls that hang from trees. The dolls were put there by Julian Santana Barrera, who was the former owner of the island and had covered the island in dolls to help appease a spirit of a little girl who had drowned nearby. So it was with pure intentions. Like, there was a nice sentiment behind that. It's just still creepy. And to hang them from trees, that doesn't really seem like you're trying to, like, appease the spirit. This site is only, like the island is only accessible by boat. Visitors are encouraged to leave offerings or other dolls on the island to add to the collection. And last we have Letta. Letta is also known as Letta Meowt, and she is child size. So she is quite large, which is even more terrifying. Said to be about 200 years old, carved out of wood and real human hair. But like I said, human hair in dolls was not uncommon. The doll's owner, Carrie Walton, claims to have found Letta in the 1970s while exploring a deserted home in Wagga Wagga, Australia. So Walton brought Letta back to their home in Queensland. It didn't take long for strange things to start to occur. Household items would shift, scuff marks would appear on the floor, and Walton's children started complaining of nightmares. One night, they woke up screaming that Letta was talking and moving around on its own. Dogs turned aggressive whenever they were near the doll, and guests would claim to see the doll move. At some point, Walton tried to sell Letta. When he tried to sell Letta, he couldn't get the doll out of the car. He was physically unable to remove it. Walton believes that Letta's origins trace back to Eastern Europe, and he believes that the doll is a vessel haunted by the spirit of a boy that drowned many years ago. Letta currently tours around Australia with Walton and will sit on people's laps to take a picture with them. I don't know if I believe that it was just a little boy that had a tragic accident that lives in Letta, because if it was just a little boy, why are animals becoming aggressive towards it? Why are the children having nightmares? That doesn't really add up to me. Let me know if you guys want me to do any deep dives into any of these dolls, or if you want to hear me talk about other ones. Make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, adios, bye.